Good morning and welcome to the Mike Show for Monday, June 29, 2026. 67 degrees at 11:10 a.m. and I'm your host, Val Kamal, and I'm a sinner. And I'm powerless and my life is unmanageable. Humility and gratitude are the keys to life. It's always today, it's always now. My life is not my own. My will not be done. There's no reality but God, and the only thing we have to do is die. So, how are we going to live today? And I hope and pray I can live from my heart a life based on faith and not fear. It's a humid and wet, rainy morning out there. It's humid in here too. Rough start this morning. Didn't get out of bed till 8:30ish. Woke up way before that. Got up, and even though Chloe and Ruth were grounded, I let everyone out, and it was a mistake. Ruthie was grounded last night. Chloe got herself grounded, but I didn't hold to it, and I did not enjoy my coffee and wake-up time this morning. They were anywhere but here. They all just took off. I was even pissed at Gracie, and I usually don't get pissed at her. I'm not so much at them as what they do or not do. And it's all my fault, and I don't know why I keep torturing myself like that. It was so nice. I poured myself a cup of coffee, and Elsie came and sat with me. Max was the last one to come outside. But yeah, I looked, and they were just all nowhere to be found. There's that Gracie. There's that Gracie. What do you see, baby girl? I think I just heard Coke. There's Coke. There's Coke. But how could you not love them little faces? But I did. I literally chimped out on them. Ruthie, I should say. I was pissed. And because Chloe did the same thing Ruthie did yesterday morning, and that's what got Ruthie grounded in the afternoon, or after supper, or whenever it was we went out. And she finally turned up, and I said, you know what, that was that. But like a fool, they're all lovey-dovey to me in the morning when I'm getting up, or they want me to get out of bed and let them out, and then I foolishly cave into them and end up regretting it. So we got to intensify our search for harnesses. I know where I can get rope and snap cables, or snaps to tie onto the end of them. But they got to have harnesses. I can't do it anymore. And I literally did go apeshit out there over Ruth. And Grace was on the verge of figuring out she could be quicker than me too, but she didn't quite get that point. I grabbed her quick enough. But Ruthie knows, and she makes my life hell because of it when she's outside. So anyway. Oh boy. Quite a bit done so far. We said our prayers. Cursed a blue streak like a drunken sailor at Ruthie. And right back to square one, asking for help and forgiveness from God. Oh yeah, but yeah, we've emptied noogie boxes, washed dishes, transferred cash, paid a bill. Getting ready to haul things to the DPW and to the recyclable center. Finished a kettlebell workout, did some accounting. What are you bebas doing? What do you see out there? What do you see out there? Who do you see out there? Oh, there's a chickadee at the suet cake. There's a chickadee out there. Yeah, we haven't been getting much action on them suet cakes. Lots of action out in the yard where we put the cracked corn, but anyway. Oh, there it goes. So anyway, let's take a break. Welcome back. And I don't really mean that. I didn't mean it when I said good morning either. Oh, Oh boy. So anyway, Yesterday's thumbnail was a shot of our beloved Rascal. He was lying right in this corner on an old sleeping bag we used to have. We had lots of good times on them sleeping bags. It was a double-sized one we were gifted with years ago and lasted a long time. Part of it we'd keep outside to sit on outside, and part of it we'd keep inside here. That photo was part of the same set of photos from the day before. There was a photo of the thumbnail was Rascal and Chloe #1 and Mikey lying in the corner here. And anyway, Razzie was a good boy. He was something special. He loved going for a ride in the truck with me. He had about 20 different nicknames, if not more. He was smart. He could shake hands. You could say slap 5, give me 5, shake hands, and he would do it. Him and Chiefy. They would come on command too when I called them. I'll never forget, shortly after we moved in here, someone I know was over here, and I was calling the cats. They were way back in the back part of the yard, Mischief and Rascal. And he says, yeah, right. They're going to come. And the next thing you knew, they were right by my feet. And he said, they're just like dogs. I says, yeah. I had worked with them quite a bit, though. But anyway, there's that photo of Razzie shaking hands. That was taken in December of 2010, I believe. And I was reaching out to push his chin up to get a better shot of his face. And he put his paw up and shook hands with me. He remembered doing that when I do that. And he was such a good boy. And I guess I'll read that little poem that's on there. It's from a Native American book of prayers that I was gifted with years ago that I sent some cash into a scholarship fund, and they sent me this little prayer book that I'm still reading every day to this day for the most part. But I read this and say this every morning just about. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even when it is easier letting go. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you. And Raz and Chief joined us on November 19th, I believe it was 1993, the day after we lost Yoda. And we lost Chiefy June 23rd, 2007, and we lost Razzie. I think it was Sweetest Day. I think it was October 16th, 2011. A couple weeks before we lost Dad, and that was the same year we lost Mama Margie. So anyway, let's take another little break. And we are back once again. Yesterday we had a pretty darn good day after we got Ruth back in here in the morning. I pedaled to Aldi. Actually, I even pedaled to Aldi before she even came home. Yeah, when I got home, she did finally come in from Aldi, when I finally pedaled home from Aldi. And I decided I was going to go do some more riding and do some plinking. And I pedaled out to Devil's Lake to do some plinking, and I did that. I met a guy named Kyle and his son Kevin, and Kevin had just purchased a new side-by-side shotgun. It wasn't brand new. I believe he said it was a Lefevre side-by-side 12 gauge, and he checked out the information on it. It was made in 1920. Beautiful old firearm. Yeah, and they offered to let me shoot it, but I declined. But I let them try out a couple of my revolvers, and just enjoyed standing there talking with some fellow shooting sport enthusiasts. He was really good too, that Kevin, with that thing. I never seen him miss a clay pigeon that his dad threw for him, and he was even scoring some doubles. But yeah, I pedaled home from there, so that ride to Aldi and then riding out to the range and back give me about 20 miles. Had a burger when I got home. Just hung out with the cats. I probably did more than that, but that's all I can remember right now. I know I read to them. Enjoyed a beautiful day. It was absolutely just gorgeous. Everything is green, growing, and alive, and it was just a perfect summer day yesterday. I think it reached 76 degrees. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, wasn't too humid, wasn't too windy. It was just perfect. And surprisingly, being out in the forest, I did not get any ticks on me at the range. That's unusual. Anyway, I'm going to take another break. And we're back again. Coke just came back out here. Come here, honey. Come on, honey. Oh, Chloe. Oh, baby girl. So anyway, June is almost over. And within the week, it will be Independence Day here in the United States of America. A lot of people just call it the 4th of July. And to me, that just takes away, and it has taken away, the meaning of that day. It was the day that the citizens here declared their freedom from Great Britain. No longer would be colonies of Great Britain, and decided to form their own country. And when you just call it 4th of July, to me anyway, that takes away all the meaning of what it's actually about, Independence Day. And I remember when I was 16 years old, it was the bicentennial, the 200-year anniversary of the founding of this country. And how much leading up to that, the anticipation for it and the celebration, and it was so big. I mean, the bike path here is called the Bypath because it was short for Bicentennial Path when they made the bike path back in 1976, and it's been expanded on since then. And there was actually going to be they were trying to rename it until people did research that were currently, the so-called the public servants. I won't call them civic leaders. They're public servants, and they should be reminded of that at every turn. They tried to change the name of it some years back, and people said no, it was called the Bypath because it's not by because people walk and ride bikes on it, in the sense of by meaning two. It was called the Bypath because it was made in the bicentennial year and to commemorate the 200-year anniversary of the founding of this country. And we're less than a week away from the 250 years of being a country. And we are so far away from that time period back when I was 16 years old, where we were as a country. It's unbelievable. It's worse now. The division's worse. We're being invaded, deliberately invaded, allowed to be invaded by politicians who care more about people that come in here with no vetting process or very little. The borders just were flooded. And there are large segments of this country where people that aren't even actually citizens are allowed to vote. They're taking over their local communities. New York City's gone. And those clowns, Dearborn, Michigan's been gone a long time. And I'm not going to go on and on about that. Minnesota's mini Somalia, at least in the urban areas. But I think it's like that all the way across this country. And I think it's too late to do anything about taking it back. I really do. We waited too long to do anything about it. By not holding people accountable, not holding them to the laws and the policies that worked for years for becoming a citizen in this country. And all these touchy-huggy-feely do-gooders that are NIMBYs, because a lot of them, not in my backyard, they're all for it, but when they actually got to give up something and allow it to happen next door to them, they don't want it, no part of it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have immigration, but legal immigration. Like I said, there's been policies in place for years that worked just fine until those powers that be, the so-called public servants at the federal level, just allowed our country to be invaded for years. And they got rich off it, and they're still getting rich off it. And it's a pretty sad state of affairs, I think. So anyway, on that cheery note, That's all we got. So from the cold gray ashes and coals of my cold black heart, my broken, beaten, battered, bruised, bloody, burdened, empty, hollow, cracked, shattered, hopeless, forsaken, forlorn, bitter, angry, tired, resentful, twisted, convoluted, confused, grieving, happy, and grateful soul, piss off, happy Monday, and thanks for not tuning in.